Hey, welcome everyone to this video, to this show. We are going to kick things off today to talk more in our 4-part series on how to sell digital products using Pinterest as your traffic source. So if you are new to this channel, new to this video, new to me, wherever you're finding me, catching this on a blog or a video, if we're connected in the past, or if we're totally new to me and my world, welcome. My name is Jen Dice, and I am a Pinterest and marketing strategist. I welcome you guys. And today we are going to dive in a little bit deeper to this third piece of a 4-part series of how to sell digital products using Pinterest. So if you have not caught the first 2 videos, I will link them below. Make sure you go check them out and then come back here, and then be on the lookout for the 4th video in this series as we walk through. So the customer journey on Pinterest really is a series of steps that your customer walks through, goes through, experiences from the moment they are searching on Pinterest to the next step of finding you, and then walking that path with you until they become they go from cold traffic, complete stranger, to a warm, loyal customer, person in your audience, fan, whatever you want to call them, but they are a part of your business and a part of your world. How does that happen? Because that's where you get the people that are warmed up to you, they trust you, they know you, they like you. Those are the people that are going to purchase from you. So how do we do that? So just to recap, so this is part 3. So today we're going to dive in and talk a little bit more about delivering on that promise and having clear next steps for your customers once they click over to your content on your website. So if we recap the first 2 videos, just to give you an idea of what we discussed in those first couple of videos in this series, the first one, we looked at Pinterest, we looked at your customers, and we worked on aligning your offer. And your offer can be a freebie, it can be a paid product, and it can just be your content, your blog posts, your how-to articles, because usually those articles and the content that you're putting out onto Pinterest that delivers value, that's what's going to start to draw and pull people in, more so than just pins that are going straight to your freebies, your downloads, your digital products. So keeping that in mind, we're aligning your offer. And what that really means is we're diving deeper into the keywords, the language that your person is using as they're searching on Pinterest, and we're stepping into their shoes and approaching the platform however they might approach the platform if they're trying to solve a problem. So that is video 1. We were looking at your customer and where they are starting and how we can align ourselves with what they are looking for on Pinterest. The second video, we dove into creating pin designs that get the click, because it's one thing to rank for certain keywords. You want to rank for the right keywords so that you show up in the search feed as your people are looking. But it's another thing to create designs that stop the scroll, call out your person in a crystal clear way, and get them to click through. So those are kind of the first 2 pieces that are on the Pinterest platform. And the next piece we're going to dive into is what happens as soon as they click off, or they go to your website, they go to that blog post, they go to that freebie. So we have kind of set the stage in our first 2 steps of that customer journey and pre-framed them so that they are ready for this next step. So what is that step? This is where we are delivering on the promise. So I can't tell you, and maybe if you're a Pinterest user for personal reasons, you have your own boards, a personal account, whatever, I can't tell you how frustrating it is to find a pin, think I'm going to get one thing because the pin says I'm going to get 3 tips to getting started with whatever I'm searching for. And I click on that pin and I go over, and it is a product of some sort. And I am looking for information. I am not at a stage where I'm looking to buy something yet. So that is one way you want to look at what is on that pin and making sure you are delivering on the value once they get to that other side. So today, I'm going to just break it down for you in probably a few simple tips on how you can deliver on that promise and give your person those next steps. Because really, this is where we're delivering our experience. It is a make or break moment for the people that find us on Pinterest. And if we don't give them what they're looking for, what they need, what they want, they're going to click off and they're going to keep going. And they're going to be less likely to click on any more of your pins because they know that, oh, that person really just sent me to a shop site, just sent me to a product, and I'm looking for like how to do something. I'm not ready to buy yet, or I'm not I was looking to buy, but they sent me to a random blog post that was very cluttered, and I couldn't find what I was looking for. So this is where we really, really, really want to up the ante and the game that we're putting into Pinterest and the experience that we're giving our people once they come over to our website. So how do you do that? A few tips to do that is number one, which is super simple, and that is creating a cohesive content from the pin to the website. So in some cases, you could take an image that's very similar, very representative of the designs that you have that are going to that page, and input that image, some of the images, into the blog post so that the person sees the image when they click and they get over to Pinterest and they see very similar imagery, colors. It's very cohesive in the way it's presented so that tells the person immediately they're in the right place. They want to make sure that they're clicking on the pin and they're going to the right place to get the information that they want. So by having a cohesive experience from the pin itself to the design on the page, the color, some of the imagery that you're pulling in, that helps to kind of build that trust a little bit as that person starts to explore more with you and your content. So and then the content being cohesive just means if you promise them a blog post that's going to give them the first 5 tips they need to get started, they need to get started with a project, when they click over, that's what they want to see. So that's what they're looking for, is how do I get started? So let's say, for example, you do branding and design, you're a brand strategist, and somebody is trying to figure out how to create, how to pull brand colors or create a mood board of some sort. And they're going to type into Pinterest how to create a mood board. And if you're ranking for that search term and your pin says the first 5 steps to creating your mood board, and they click on that, and it is something that's not the information right away, like you don't go into the 5 steps on the post, that's going to give them cause to pause. So let's say it is the information, but I have to give you my email address to get the information. So that's going to make me pause a little bit and think, do I really want that information that bad? Or can I go back? And am I just looking for the information in the form of a blog post of some sort, so I can get an idea so that I can go back to Canva or whatever I'm working on and continue working on my project, if that makes sense. So think about what your person is going through. And if it says that if you're going to give them XYZ tips, give them XYZ tips, or have some sort of representation on the pin that they're going to have to give you an email address, or it's a download, something they're going to have to download. It's not like I can't click over and just get the tips I need right away. So that's tip number 1, is cohesive content from the pin to your website. Tip number 2 is delivering the value that is promised. So this is what most of what I'm talking about here today is delivering on that value, because you're giving the cohesive experience when they click over. You're actually giving them what they thought they were going to get when they clicked on that pin. And that is why your pin design has to be crystal clear, so you can set those expectations so that they know when they click over, they're in the right place, they're getting the value, and then you're building that trust right away on the front end. So when you're doing this in the form of, let's say, a blog post, when you're delivering on value, I would say have the value front and center. Like they click over and they get what they need, and they can either save that pin, and that's another way to build that engagement and relationship with a potential customer, is they save that pin and they can come back and reference that. And every time they do that, they start to get familiar with you. That sends a signal to Pinterest that you gave this person value. They're going to show this person more of your stuff if they start to save your pins, click on your stuff on Pinterest. So kind of keeping those things in mind. It's not always all about the pin to a product, pin to a freebie, pin to get something. It's giving the value to the person first. And the other thing is, for delivering on that experience is, for sure you don't want to send them off to a random, if you're pin says 5 tips to XYZ, you don't want to send them to your storefront or to the homepage of your website, because that's just not going to get them what they're looking for, and they're going to click off and they're going to be gone. But also there's these other times where you can click on an image, on a pin, it says you're going to get one thing, and you have to scroll a mile to actually get the information, because the information was buried under affiliate links, pop-ups, ads, and all stuff that's just not helpful. So when you're delivering on that value has to be front and center, so that they get that right away. Otherwise, they're going to leave and you're going to lose the potential next steps to building that relationship with them. The third tip I have for you is that user experience. So like having the actual content available for the person when they click over, having it laid out so it's super clear, they get exactly what they want. The user experience is everything as well. So this kind of ties in that cohesive imagery. The blog post is clean. It's actually giving them the information that they need. And then it's also not a cluttered experience. You know, they're not getting hit with pop-up ads every time they scroll, which is very frustrating. And it's very, very prevalent in some niches on Pinterest. So this is a way to stand out, is by actually giving somebody what they want, what they need. So again, not making them scroll a mile to get to the tips that they need, or get to the, you know, like recipes are notorious for this. If you click on a pin to get a recipe, it's buried at the bottom and you have to scroll past this blog post that I really didn't want because I just wanted the recipe. And also all of these pop-up ads, affiliate links, and it's just a mess. And I can't tell where is what I came here for, the recipe. I don't know. So if you're giving somebody a recipe, if you're giving them tips, if you're giving them any sort of value on the pin, it's got to be very, very crystal clear and clean for them to get that information as soon as they click over. So making sure that user experience is good. You're not sending them to a blog post that is littered with ads, pop-ups, affiliate links, like they don't know where to turn, because it's just, there's just a mess of stuff on that blog post, and it's less about the value. It's more about at that point, the monetization of the value that you're trying to give them. So that user experience. And then the last thing I have for you guys today is a clear focused next steps. So when you send somebody over to your website, let's say we'll use a blog post example, you give them the tips that they're looking for. It's clean, it's clear, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like boom, I got it. This was super helpful. I read through it. I've got enough information. I can get started. I'm going to save this pin to this board because I'm going to come back to it. So they're already like bought in enough that you are giving them that good experience. But on the flip side of that as well, you want those posts to be clean, but also, just because you're giving them the five tips or whatever, you're giving the value in that blog post does not mean to leave out any sort of call to action. So the call to action is actually where you call your people to take that next step with you, and you start to get those people that will self-select. Are they in it enough with you that they are going to then opt into the next step? Go, like, maybe if that is reading the next blog post, like this series, is that, you know, catching the next video, going back and watching the previous 2 videos of this series, is that then downloading and getting that full guide that you're providing. So if you're looking at, like, so let's take the brand strategist example. Let's say somebody's looking for tips to get started on a mood board, and you gave them your top 5 tips to get started on a mood board. They maybe saved the pin. They went back because they're actively working on the project, but they're going to remember you. But also having in that blog post, hey, if these 5 tips were helpful and you're actually trying to create a mood board, here is my like a full guide with templates you can grab and snag and upload into Canva to actually create your mood board. Here is where I will actually walk you through this and give you more help with that. That is the next step. That is like a content upgrade. And that at that point is where it makes sense to say, you know, here's where you can opt in, give me your, like, enter your email and I will send it to you and you can download it. And then that at that point is where they opt in. So that's that next step that they take with you. So that is kind of in a nutshell of, we looked at the first 2 pieces of where people are at when they first find you on Pinterest. And then we're looking at then what happens once they click over. So we're discussing once they click off of Pinterest and they come to your website, how do we continue to walk with them through this customer journey? Because this customer journey, which is a fancy way, another way of saying just it's your Pinterest sales funnel, how are we going to get the right people to take the next steps so that we can start to grow and build a community that we own of the right people from Pinterest? So I hope this was helpful. If you guys found this helpful, found this useful, please feel free to drop your comments below. I will leave links, like I said before, to the previous 2 videos in this series. You can go back and watch those, come back and watch this one, and then catch the 4th one as it rolls out on this channel. If you have not yet, please hit subscribe to this channel, and you won't miss any future videos that I roll out. You can sign up for the alert so that you know when that next video is rolling out. More tips regarding Pinterest, marketing, mindset, all of it when it comes to growing your business online. So, and then as always, if you want to connect more, learning more about Pinterest is something that you are interested in learning more about some of these customer journey strategies, the mindset behind your customer, the psychology behind your customer's journey, and how you can meet them where they're at and serve them to your highest possible potential, please feel free to connect with me. I will drop a link below in my free community, and that is where you can come in, you can ask questions. I go live in there. I do a little bit more deeper dive trainings in that community, and I just kind of give away a lot of my best stuff just to help you guys grow on Pinterest in your marketing and in your mindset. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next video. Until then, have a wonderful, wonderful week. All right. Bye, everybody.